You know the vibes. Another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K22. Momunsi, BJ Armstrong, live and direct from the hotel in Boston, Massachusetts, which is around the corner from the arena. The fans outside, all of them wearing green. Game is tomorrow, or when you listen to this, the game is tonight. Game 4 of the NBA Finals, a crucial game. Everyone says Game 5 is the must-win, but I always feel like Game 4 is the must-win because you have the chance to either go 3-1 up or have the series tied at 2-2. Now, the common opinion amongst fans and everyone I've been speaking to is saying, oh, the Warriors will win, and it'll be 2-2, and then it's going to be 7 games. Having said that, I don't know. No one knows. Who knows?
But I know who you're picking.
All I know is
You're old. You're what?
Owen
You're
everything.
Yeah.
I'm Owen everything.
Yeah. Well, we know who you're picking.
Okay, so I was at shoot around today with the Celtics, and then I was supposed to be at shoot around with the Warriors, but the Warriors said no shoot around, go home. So they didn't have the media in there. Now there were some theories floating about from people. They said, oh, maybe Steph's injured, and they don't want anyone to see how injured he is. I think Steve Kerr just wants to shout at his guys for losing the game last night. I don't know what's going on.
He wants to do what?
Shout at his players, or have a proper practice without media cameras and everything there. You know what I'm saying? BJ, when a team cancels their shoot around or their practice in the morning, what does that mean?
I try to, you know what's really hard is it's really hard for me. I know Steve, and if I really wanted to know that answer, I would just call Steve and ask him. And that's the one thing. And even if I did talk to Steve today,
Yes.
I wouldn't tell why he did it.
Yes.
Okay. So here's my best guess. All right, and
I mean, when you were a player and you had a shoot around schedule, and what are some of the reasons why the coach would cancel it?
Okay.
That's a better way. I'm not asking why the Warriors.
See, it's hard for me because I know they're young listeners, and I want to be
Yes.
responsible to our young listeners.
Yeah.
But here we are, and we have to tell it, but you got to put it in its proper context. No one practices at this time. Okay? The biggest fantasy is guys are working on their game. No.
It's the finals.
No one hasn't practiced since like January. Mm-hmm. Okay? In professional sports, ladies and gentlemen, no one practices. Why? There are too many games. Okay.
They don't do walkthroughs and stuff like that.
If I got to figure out what you're doing 110 games into the season, Mo, it's a pretty good it's a pretty good indication you probably never going to get it.
Okay.
Okay. The reason they're not practicing, as you and I were watching the game last night, I told you, and I'm going to tell our listeners here, youth will be served.
Yes.
This is a young man's game. The reason Steve Kerr doesn't even want his guys to come in the gym is because of the following. Those guys played at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
The game didn't end at 12. It's not like you go back to your room. Maybe when you were younger, you would go back and go right to sleep.
Nope.
He wants his guys to get off their feet, get away from the game, begin the recovery process, because when you're young, it's easier for you to recover within these 48 hours.
Yeah.
This is a tough game for the Warriors. Not because of it's game 4. They only have 1 day to recover.
Yeah. Why do they not space it out a little bit more?
Because television and money dictates everything. It's just that's the business.
But the first 2 games had more space between them.
That's because we want to put them on the best dates. We want to put them on Sundays. We want to put it on Wednesdays. We want to put it on. These are the best dates.
Okay.
For TV.
Yeah.
There's the basketball business, Mo.
Yeah.
And then there's the business of basketball.
Yeah.
And they both got to go hand in hand.
Okay.
So this is going to be a tough game for the Warriors. And for the Warriors, this is probably the most difficult game because of the quick turnaround. Mm-hmm. Okay? This is a quick turnaround for them. So the most important thing, which we'll share here, is I was looking at the end of that game. And what did I tell you at the last 3 minutes when he substituted?
Trying
all
to get
of
them some rest. This is what we spoke about yesterday.
I said, Steve is, you know what? He's already preparing because he knows he got 2 chances to get 1.
Yeah.
And those guys, they expended, in my opinion, an enormous amount of energy to get back in that game.
Yeah.
That's a lot of energy to come back and then lose by 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then within a 48-hour, turn it around and have to do it all over again. This is going to be a difficult game. This could be a game where everyone's coming in and go, oh, man, this is going to be great. And it very well could. You know, you've seen Stranger Things. But this also, if I was coaching the team, I would be afraid that we're going to lose by 30.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're bigger, they're younger, and when you're younger, you have a better chance to recover than when you're 33, 34 years of age. And this is a very, very, I'm really concerned just because of the quick turnaround. Now, the Warriors, like great teams and great players, they will surprise you. That's why we're going to go see.
Yeah.
But just from my understanding of playing and being a professional athlete at one point, I'm really concerned about this game 4. Not the game. Not that they don't want to win. It's just sometimes your body at 33, 34 years of age, it just don't bounce back.
Yeah.
And every athlete will tell you, sometimes when you was young, you play on a back-to-back, no problem. When you get old,
yeah,
it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
So you're playing at a higher intensity, more at stake, more stress, in a shorter amount of time to recover. That's a bad combination.
And you're not even at home. You're living in a hotel.
Family members, da-da-da. Mo, I'm very concerned. So Steve Kerr, why didn't he practice?
That makes sense.
It ain't no secret. What they gonna get? You gonna go in the gym and do what? We gonna get up some shots? What?
Yeah.
What? We're gonna get up shots. Let's get the ice. For what? Like, hey man, I just need you to give me what you got Friday night, and I don't care what you got to do to get there. But I'm gonna ask you because our season is on the line. There's nothing to talk about. But you know, I'm not gonna. I don't want to seem like guys don't practice, but you can't practice. You're a professional. Pros don't practice. That's why it's important to build good habits, because those habits will follow you for the rest of your career.
Well, that makes sense. And then, so when we're going to talk about the game plan for the next game, it sounds a lot to me like the game plan is going to be the exact same.
Okay, well,
because at this point, game, like you're 3 games in now, there's not too much you can change.
Yeah, every game takes on its own personality. Okay, and the first game, you fill out the team. The second game, you always want to feel like if you lost, that, man, they didn't beat us. We just didn't play well, but we can change some things. And then if you are the other team, you want to establish that this wasn't a fluke. Okay, so right now you have, for the Celtics, you won 1, you lost 1, you won 1. Now the Celtics have an opportunity to display their dominance over this team by beating them 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, if you win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, nothing's happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is going on in game 4? What's going on now is I know what you're going to do, Mo. I've seen your changes. You've seen my changes. Now, everybody knows everybody's plays. By the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th game of the season, of the series, there is no more play calling.
Yeah.
I know your plays. You know our plays. We used to. It's a point guard joke that runs in the league. I know your plays better than you know them.
Yeah.
Okay. We all know how Steph is going to get open, right?
Yeah.
We all know how Clay's going to get open.
Yep.
We know Marcus Smart, what he's going to do.
Yep.
We know everything that everybody's going to do at this stage.
We know the players as good as the teams at this point.
Okay. We know that. Now we know the coaching style, what Coach Udoka is going to do. We know the coaching style of Steve Kerr he's going to do. Mm-hmm. We know the substitution patterns. Mm-hmm. If suddenly Kuminga is the first guy off the bench, everybody in the arena is going to be like, oh, this is odd.
I wouldn't be surprised, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But something has to happen, or you got to get a contribution. Like I always tell you, you're always looking for unlikely contributions.
Yeah.
Now, this game is going to come down to one thing: effort and energy. That's all it's going to come down to. I know, you and I know the plays.
So on that point, because we also talk about the rotation showing up, them going maybe 7, maybe 8 deep, as in 5 stars and 2 or 3 players off the bench. Do you think the Warriors go a little bit deeper in their rotation with Kuminga and Moody and some of these younger guys?
I don't, unless there's foul trouble or something happens.
What if it's just working? Like what if they're just down and then they need the burst of energy?
Okay, okay. So they get down 20. Okay, I'll go to that guy.
Okay,
I have to allow. There's certain things you got to do, and you got to pay respect to the guys who got you there.
yeah.
Steph Curry deserves every opportunity to win a championship and then lose it. Mm-hmm. The last thing you want to do is wake up at 40, 41, 42 and say, why did I take Steph out of the game?
Yeah.
Okay, example. For the life of me, Greg Popovich took Tim Duncan out of the game.
That game 6 in Miami against the San Antonio Spurs.
I have no idea.
For you guys at home, this is the shot where you will have seen Ray Allen hit the corner 3. That Ray Allen corner 3 came off a Miami offensive rebound off a LeBron James miss because Tim Duncan was not in the game.
I have no idea why Greg Popovich did that. I have not, to this day. I have no idea. But what I do know, if those guys help you win a championship, they have the right to defend that championship. Draymond, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry, I'm playing them all the minutes they can play because they have the right.
Yeah.
They've earned that right.
And they don't want to be taken out of the game.
If Steph Curry can play 48 minutes, if you said, Steph, if you play 48 minutes and you could win the game, would you do it? The answer is absolutely yes.
We saw it with Jimmy Butler in Game 7
You
against
got to
Boston.
do what you got to do. There is no. He has to be committed to one thing, committed to the win.
Yes.
Just be committed to the win. And that's what you have to do at this stage. So I think right now, Steph Curry, if he goes to his bench, it's not going to be at the expense of someone.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga this is his first year. Well, if he can play and the situation arises for some reason he needs to play and he's the guy up, okay. But if I got a chance to put Kuminga in the game or put Andre Iguodala in the game,
yeah, I hear it.
Okay, now Kuminga next year when we're committed to playing, then now it's your turn to create your memories.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of the burst of the energy now. If you're talking about the Celtics being a much bigger team.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing every coach can't answer. How come so-and-so wasn't in the game?
That's true.
It's just like you got Steph Curry as an offensive
you're going to have Steph, Clay, and Dre, but that still leaves the other 2 spots.
Okay,
so Looney, Poole, whoever, Otto Jr., whatever, you can afford to put in the younger guys.
These guys are always going to go with experience.
Okay.
Always. It's just like, at the end of the game, Jonathan Kuminga is having a game of his life. Score is tied.
You ain't giving him the ball.
You go with Steph Curry. Steph Curry is 2 for 19. Let's say he's 2 for 19 from the field.
I'm giving it to Steph.
You're giving it to Steph. Absolutely. There is no discussion here. So all of those are just, people talking. But truth be told, Steve's got to figure out with his team, and his team has to figure out, do we have the energy necessary?
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to.
Because they got to come out and win 3 games.
They got to win 3 out of the next 4.
Yep. That's crazy to think about.
They got to win 3 out of the next 4. That's what it comes down to. Like all of this, they got to win 3 out of the next 4. This is why it's important. This is why Steve did. These guys are so good on that sideline. They're always thinking about what's best for the team. You're seeing a phenomenal coaching job by these two.
Oh, yeah, both of them. So for the Celtics, going into this next one, what's the mindset like, BJ? Because you've been in a position a number of times, up 2-1. What's the mindset going into that one? Because it's not like when you're up 1-0 on the road, because you were like, oh, cool, we're playing with house money now because we stole one on the road. Whereas now you're at home.
Okay.
1-1 at home, but you need the second one.
So now you have little tasks, all right? So the task was we got to get 1 on the road. Done. They got that. They got that.
Yeah.
Now, if you can get 2, great. But you get 1. You get 1, and you give yourself a chance to get 2. Now, they didn't play well in the third quarter, just like we saw last night.
Yeah.
But they weathered the storm.
Yeah.
What's the mindset here? Now they understand that they can be beat. The best teaching lesson for any team, for any player, is a loss.
Yeah.
Every time you lose now, you're 1 step closer. So they lose game 2, and I'm going to give the Celtics credit because they came out and played with the sense of urgency that was necessary. They really came out, and they really established in game 3 that they were there for the fight. Now they have to reestablish what's the most important thing in game 4, which is they're going to win the game in between the trenches. And what I mean by that is they're going to get all the loose balls. They're not going to be careless with the ball and just turn it over unnecessarily. They're going to make all of the correct plays on the offensive and defensive end, and they're willing to give the extra effort that's going to be necessary because you're not going to win this game in the first quarter or the second quarter. You're going to have to go to the extreme to win this game because you're playing against a team that's desperate. They won a championship not because they were just more talented than everyone. They won a championship because they were willing to go to the extreme to win it. Okay? So now they have to win the game in the trenches. Okay? If someone gets physical, we have to match that intensity. That's what I told you at the game, too. Draymond Green brought the fight to the game in game 2, and 9 times out of 10, the team that's most aggressive is going to win the game.
Yeah.
I ain't say the team that's going to make the most threes. I didn't say the team that's going to come out and run the best offense. The team that's the most aggressive. The thing that was impressive about game 3 for the Celtics fans was Grant Williams brought it. Uncle Al brought it. And oh my goodness, did the Time Lord bring it?
Yes, sir.
Time Lord won the game, and their bigs won the game in the trenches.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the difference in the game. So the first thing I'm going to watch for in game 4 is, let me assure you this. Draymond Green is going to come out and
On 100.
and establish he is going to win the game in the trenches.
Okay.
Why? Because he knows he man has a heart of a champion.
Yes.
He knows how to win a game.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's focusing today. Everyone's focusing today, which is making me laugh. Oh, look at his numbers. And
I've not heard anyone say, look at his numbers.
okay, what are they saying?
I don't really listen to stuff.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I listened to him today.
I don't really.
Everybody
I've
talking
heard,
about his
I've
numbers.
heard everyone talking about his podcast today.
Everyone's talking about everything except
But my whole thing with Draymond is he could have 0-0-0-0 on the stat line and still win a game.
because
He's
he
one of the
understand-
few players that can do that.
because that's my point. He understands winning basketball. Most people in the people in our profession, they're just looking at the numbers. He is a player. There are some players who can contribute to winning by not scoring. He doesn't have to score. He just doesn't.
Yep.
He just knows he has an ability to contribute and affect the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's just what he does.
Yeah. And
That's just what
he's
he
one of the best at it.
He
He might be one of the only. There's not many players in the NBA who can win a game without scoring a basket.
He doesn't have to put up 20, 10, and he can affect the game. But when he loses the battle,
The team loses.
the team doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Because every winning team has to win that. You don't win the game by just shooting threes. You have to win the game in the trenches.
Yeah. How did the Boston Celtics front line then respond to the tone Draymond's going to come out and set in the next game?
Well, it's one of him, but last time I counted, it's like
3.
it's a minimum of 3 of them.
If you're going to include Daniel Tice, it's 4.
Okay. And I'm not even going to include Daniel Tice in his 4 because you got Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is the one that's guarding him.
Yeah.
He's guarding him for 3 games now.
Yeah.
I've seen Marcus Smart. That's 5. Now, that's what I've seen.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you've seen something different. So the battle, he's got what. That's what was so incredible with watching Game 2. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. How is he overwhelming the entire front line?
And he was guarding a guard.
And he guarded Jaylen Brown.
And Tatum as well.
Okay? So my thing is, all right, you can bring the fight, but you got to fight 6 guys. You can't beat 6 guys. You can win your one-on-one matchup.
Yeah.
You might can win your center matchup.
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, this is odd. I told you right after Game 2, I was like, wait a minute. You got 3 starters that only scored 2 points.
Yeah.
3 starters
Yeah.
that scored 2 points apiece. Rob Williams, Al Horford, Marcus Smart.
They got it done in Game 3, though. So we're going to see Game 4.
Absolutely.
My question for the Warriors is the rebounding, because they got crushed on the glass. How do they address that, especially with a smaller team? Is there any way or any chance of them? Because usually the team with the most rebounds has more possessions and more baskets, wins the game. Is there any way for the Warriors to address that without
3-point shooting offsets everything. It's kind of like it's kind of like the great equalizer.
Yes.
So normally I would make a big deal about that, but I can't now because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have the ability to shoot 46, 47% from 3, which nullifies a 15-point rebounding advantage for the other team. Okay? You know, Steph Curry and these guys, believe it or not, they were up in the third quarter.
Yeah. I was terrified.
They were up. Look
I
at
was terrified. So they had a 7-point play, then they had a Jason Tatum turnover led to a Wiggins dunk in transition.
Yeah.
Had Steph Curry hitting 3 after 3, had Klay Thompson flying off screens and hitting threes. It was worrying times.
Well, that's what makes this team unique. Everyone, they don't have to rebound well. Why? Steph Curry is capable of going 7 for 8 at any given moment, 8 for 8. And the other guy is very capable of doing the same.
Yeah.
So that nullifies turnovers, not rebounding well, and all the other things because they have that ability. Now, if you can defend them and he can shoot 30% and they don't do that, now you're talking to me. Mm-hmm. And that's the great debate when you played against the Golden State Warriors.
You got to pick your poison.
Steph Curry is going to make it. See, everyone's trying to figure out how to stop the guy. Oh, well, why? Why are they not going over the top?
But it is, like you said, shooting 46% or shooting 36%.
Wait, you can't. People were asking, I heard it last night, why are they going under? Why are they playing drop coverage? You try stopping Steph Curry. It ain't like everybody done. He has seen every defensive scheme known to man. Yep. Do y'all really think? People are asking that question, and I just don't say
This
anything.
is like the start of game one. They were like, "Oh, the Celtics are dropping so deep," but it wasn't. Do you think the Celtics
Do you realize?
playing that on purpose, or do you think they were just making mistakes?
No, this guy is that good.
Exactly.
He makes it look so easy that if you get up on him, he's gonna go around you. If you stay back on him, he's gonna shoot it. If you get caught on the screen, that's just all the time you need. Do you realize how tough let me tell you something. I couldn't shoot nowhere near Steph Curry.
BJ's been humble. He's an above 40% 3-point shooter in the playoffs.
No, nowhere near where he shoots. This guy shoots under duress. But let me tell you something that's hard about shooting with a guy my size. Do you realize he never sees the rim? He's not like Kevin Durant or Jason Tatum, where they're big enough that they can actually see the rim. Rob Williams is running and Al Horford is running at Steph Curry.
So he's shooting off muscle memory.
He's shooting off of I know the rim is there. I got to get it off because Al is 6'10", or Rob Williams is 6'10". Jaylen Brown, Jason, they're all bigger than him. Do you realize he never sees the rim?
That's crazy.
When I play, I never saw. When you drive to the basket, you don't see the rim.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, Shaq is come. I'm driving to the basket and Shaq comes up. I'm not looking at the rim. Do you realize that's what I'm saying? When he's shooting those shots, and I know he makes him look like you're looking at the coverage.
Easy. He makes it look too easy.
This guy makes 4-point plays in the NBA Finals.
7-point.
He's not even seeing the rim. Imagine if he could see the rim.
Yeah, he would never miss.
He would probably shoot 90%.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm so. I mean, it's so impressive.
And the quickness of his release as well. His ability to just shoot the ball.
Well, it's not the quickness. It's the fact that he has the ability to do something off of memory. Because he's not getting a clean look.
Yeah.
It's not like sometimes when you watch KD, he just rise up and shoot it.
Yep. Same
And
with
there's nothing
Tatum.
you can do. Jason Tatum, he'll just rise up and shoot it. Or you'll see LeBron, or you'll see Jordan, or the late Kobe Bryant. You know, when you're big, you can just rise up and shoot. He never sees the rim. Think about that. And when he's open,
I've never thought about
he
that.
never really misses.
And he's never really open.
And he's never open, that's what I'm saying.
It's very rare that he's going to get wide open.
And then when he is open, it probably feels weird to him because he's like, I can actually see the rim.
Yeah.
And that probably throws him off. But when you're small, like us, like he's 6'2", 6'3".
I've never thought about that.
Oh, well, I've thought about it because you know what? When I'm in the backyard shooting around with my kids, it's like, oh, wow. That's what the rim looks like.
Yeah. Like, you just assume NBA guys can't, you know what I mean?
You never see it. You're 6'2", 6'3". You never see the rim. Like, I know the rim is there. And the fact that he has practiced so much that he can put the ball and just feel it without actually seeing it. Like, he knows the rim is right there. He catches it, and he knows somebody's behind him, and he shoots it off total memory. Muscle memory here, and he shoots it, and it's just a feel. That to me is the he's got guys coming from behind him, a guy coming in front of him.
And here's the thing as well. And I know it's the 3-point shooting era and everyone's shooting threes, but no one does it like Steph. Like,
Yeah,
they compare a lot of guys to him, but he is the best
There's been guys who can shoot like this.
right now in the league. Right now in the league, he is far and away the best.
I'm gonna say this. It takes a lot of things to happen in the right set of circumstances for it to get there. I've seen some amazing shooters in my NBA career.
I'm talking about right now, though.
Listen,
See, what I'm saying is that everyone says, "Oh, Trae Young's the new Steph Curry," or Jordan Poole's going to be the next Steph Curry. But there's level. Like Steph Curry is so good
okay, Steph Curry's
that
an amazing
even these
shooter.
guys who are great
Steph
as
Curry's
well.
an amazing shooter. He's an amazing shooter. I can't say anything, but let me tell you something. Let me just say this. This isn't a standalone. They set incredible screens for him, not average screens.
Moving screens. I mean, great screens.
These are amazing screens. Okay, amazing screens. Okay, and that's not taking away anything. Every shooter, especially a small guy, you got to have incredible screeners. That's just a fact.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
Grizzlies
something.
only got Steven Adams.
You watch the screens that they set for him. You will appreciate and understand why he gets open. Okay, there isn't another team in the league that rescreens better than him. Not one team in the league. So I don't want to hear about other guys because there's only one team that actually runs a rescreen. Who else runs that play?
Yeah.
Think
It's just really Draymond when he's setting a screen for Steph.
who throws the ball and then runs around and gets it? No one else runs that play other than the Warriors.
Yeah.
So, but imagine if we did do it with Trey. Maybe he learns how to. Maybe Damian Lillard learns how. Maybe these other guys who can shoot. He's the only guy that does it though.
Yeah.
So that's a tribute to him. That's a tribute to the coaching staff. That's a tribute to the players. It takes a certain amount of, it comes together. Like everything's got to come together for you. It's not like he's an isolation player.
Yeah.
It's not like when you throw it to Jordan or Kobe or Kevin Durant. Those guys are just in isolation. You're like,
Go get me a bucket.
those are like standalone players.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they was playing with you and I. It didn't matter if it was playing with whoever they were playing with. But Steph Curry, imagine if he didn't play with guys who set screens. What would that look like?
Yeah. Well, you see him kind of. There's been a lot of times in his career where he's kind of struggled a little bit towards the end of games. When
He struggled when Draymond wasn't playing.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
That's just one guy.
Yeah. Draymond is the one who says he does a great job of going and setting a screen, and then just turning his body to.
When
screen the
Draymond
other
is
side.
dribbling up the court. Let's just say this. When Draymond dribbling up the court, is there any idea? Is there any doubt?
No.
You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I don't think Clint Capella is doing that for Trae Young.
Yeah. Can't compare that in dribbling and nothing.
You know what I mean? Nurkic isn't doing that for Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
No disrespect to those guys. But when Draymond has it,
Yeah.
that's a different game when you know that's the play and that is the system.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's been some amazing shooters, but things got to come together for you. And it has come together for him in a way that we haven't seen. Okay? He's
in a perfect place, perfect environment, perfect timing.
It's a perfect for everybody though. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to worry. He doesn't have to worry about. So everybody, let's say him and Jokic were playing together. On paper, you go, oh my gosh, Jokic back-to-back MVP, Steph Curry back-to-back MVP. But Jokic has got to now not post up. Why? Because Steph never played up. He's never played with a post-up player.
Yeah, they even had Andrew Bogut, but he would be more on the elbow.
He was a terrific
setting
passer.
screens, making passes.
Think about this. He's been in the Garden League, what, 12, 13 years now? Somewhere around there?
Yeah.
He's never, ever had to play with a big who was a post-up player.
Yeah. Or be successful with it.
So he's always had the ability.
But having said that, just on your point of Jokic and Curry playing together, I think because Steph Curry commands so much attention, the other three players on that team would receive those passes from Jokic and it would help them more than it helps Steph Curry.
Provided they can get some stops and do some other things on the other end. Everybody's act like we're playing 3-on-3 basketball. No, you got to get it off. You got to stop somebody. You have to spacing, time, score, and all those things. Now, my point being is that when you are a guard, all guards, myself included, the thing that we love more than anything is playing with guys who can set screens.
Yeah.
Okay? 9 times out of 10, you see most guards play off screens off the dribble. Steph Curry does it off the dribble, but he's exceptional off the pass.
Yeah.
No one does that.
Yeah. He does it both. Because Clay is great off the pass. Very rare you see him dribbling into threes unless it's in
Steph Curry
transition.
will set a screen, and he'll do all this stuff. And then just when you think you've defended him well, he passes it and cuts around that guy.
Yeah.
No one does that.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's like he's just having fun with it. Like, playing around.
And then he may catch it back and not like that one and throw it to Draymond over there, and then there's another screen. You just don't see that.
Well, maybe we're going to see it in game 4.
Well, we got to see. We're going to see everything we need to see.
We're going to see a few things. The Warriors are going to need to see a lot of that.
Here's.
Steph.
I want to say this before we go.
Yes.
The Boston Celtics. I want to make sure that I acknowledge this. I was very impressed with Boston because a lot of times when you get to these big moments, the lights shine bright and sometimes the players shrink.
Yes.
The lights weren't too bright for the Celtics. They really showed up in Game 3, and they responded under duress.
Yeah, I think the Game 7 in Miami and Game 7 in Milwaukee, or Game 7 against Milwaukee, 2 very high-pressure situations kind of prepared.
Well, this is the NBA Finals. This is a different game.
Yeah.
This is a little.
But it's pressure.
There's more
It's
media.
expectation.
There's more expectation, and there isn't like a distraction. It's not like you play the East Coast game and then you forget about that game because tomorrow night we're going to the West Coast.
Yeah.
These guys got to sit around in these cities for 2, 3, 4, 5 days and hear the same questions. This is the only game that's being played.
I was laughing because I was at the press conference earlier. Everyone just always. So how are you feeling ahead of Game 4?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Game 3, man?
These guys, and give the Celtics credit now. This game is going to provide another challenge, and the challenge is, can they take the punch of the Golden State Warriors? Because they're going to come out scratching, clawing, and fighting.
Yes.
I don't know how it's going to turn out. You're going to ask me who's going to win. I have no idea. But what I do know is that the Celtics now have an opportunity in front of them.
Real name, no predictions. That's the new nickname.
Yeah.
That's the new.
But
that's the new nickname.
because you can't predict. They have, and I know that the Warriors.
Oh, they're going to be playing desperate now.
They
They gotta fight for it.
And how am I going to make a prediction when you know somebody has the know-how and the knowledge, the heart, and all of that to win the game? You can't bet against that.
So you're predicting the Warriors?
No, what I'm predicting is this. The Celtics have an opportunity now to really take grasp of something.
Yeah, that's a fact, not a prediction.
They now, easier said than done. But I do know that the Golden State Warriors, this isn't like a gimmick team. This isn't like, well, what do you think they're going to do?
They've been here. Except for the
Been
2
here.
injury years, they're here. This is what they do.
This is what they do. So how are you going to bet against that? You can't bet it. Like, how are you going to bet against? The only thing you can say is, now, I told you who I thought was the best team left standing. I told you that. Mm-hmm. But you continue to ask me who's going to win the game. I told you who I think is going to win the series. I told you who I thought was the best team still playing. But the Warriors deserve to be treated like champions.
Okay.
They deserve it. Now, I'm getting to the game early.
Yeah.
Because I got to look at the warm-ups. I want to see.
Let's do it.
I want to get there. I want to see it. I want to hear the pregame speeches. I want to see what they go. I want to look at the body language because this game is probably going to be won or lost in the first 5 or 7 minutes of the game.
And we're going to be there, live and direct. You can catch us on Sky TV. But in the meantime, you can catch us on the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K22 every morning. So make sure you're subscribed, leave a review, leave a rating. BJ and I will be back breaking down what happens in Game 4. And hopefully we'll be headed to San Francisco and the Boston Celtics will have a 3-1 lead. If not, 2-2. It's a best-of-3 series. Either way, I'm excited. Can't wait to get it. We'll see you guys soon. Get buckets.